Lobster, you got it back yet? Lobster's a 10, I told you grab it.
This video is brought to you by T-Blocks. Enjoy the content now, but stay for the shilling later. Welcome to Lobster Magnet and Friends. I'm here with my buddies. Absolutely no one, except for my psychotic bird, Captain Crunch. Yes, that is him who is squawking. I'm going to turn him into a meme, but probably not. So right now, in my hand, before we get into the business of One Piece, which is what you were here to see, I have this clicker, which I bought from the Parrot Wizard. Now, this is supposed to help me train Captain Crunch to expect a reward. So when I click this, I give him a yogurt. And he loves these things. These are like birdie crack for him. So hopefully he'll give us a little bit more silence as we get into the business of talking about this epic chapter of One Piece. And it's a shame. I would kind of wish Goro was here to talk about it, because I wanted to hear what his reaction was to the epic, incredible, super manly moment of, good old Dogtooth using his incredible power of manly badassness in the Dogtooth versus Luffy fight. So it was kind of interesting that, in some ways, I think overall this chapter worked really well. I really enjoyed it. But what I think is funny is the fact that, Flambe completely switches from, like, being the little sister king and, like, oh, I'm the head of the Katakuri fan club, to being, like, a complete little one-dimensional piece of shit who's like, I'm just gonna laugh at him, ha ha ha. So she's, like, a completely shallow character. And, Oda does this a lot, where he'll have, like, obnoxiously one-dimensional characters. And for a lesser artist, I'd say it was pretty obnoxious and didn't work, but Oda does a good job of, like, paying these off. Like, another good example is, like, the Royal Celestial Dragons, who are kind of like this sort of incredible parody of, like, what you expect hyper-rich people to be. They're, like, this completely one-dimensional parody. They walk around, they shoot people in the streets, nobody can stop them. But honestly, nowadays it doesn't feel like it's that far from the truth. I'm sure if Donald Trump could, he probably, and who knows, maybe he does. Maybe every night at the White House, Sarah Huckabee Sanders provides him a little orphan child who he can shoot in the White House bedroom for his own amusement. Just like that stupid thing with the Gorilla Channel, where they say, said that he likes to watch the Gorilla Channel at night. We are living in strange times. We are living in the darkest timeline. I guess for all two Trump supporters who may be listening to this, sorry for alienating you, but I guess not sorry. I'm not a huge fan of Trump. But anyway, the one-dimensional portrayal of Flambe, in one hand, it is kind of like so over the top, it feels like unrealistic, but I think it works really well into showing that she's like an exceptionally shallow character, of someone of shallow moral qualities. And it also sort of shows that, like, even amongst Big Mom's strange utopia of, like, I'm gonna fuck the planet and have, like, a strange, weird person of every single type, that there is, like, prejudice, that, like, Big Mom does not, teach any of the values that she's, Captain Crunch, you gonna be quiet? You gonna be quiet? You're getting even on my nerves, and I'm like your owner. All right, Captain Crunch, we're gonna keep you occupied, we're gonna give you another treat, and then you're gonna let us continue with the One Piece review, okay? Okay? What the hell? Why are you even eating the chip I gave you? I gave you your favorite thing, and you didn't even eat the whole thing. Eat the rest of it. Goddamn bird. You are just a spoiled little bird who is ultra demanding, aren't you? So yeah, back to One Piece. Charlotte Katakuri, is shown his true colors by, willingly wounding himself, because he is a person of honor. He is a manly person of incredible coolness, to the point where, he reveals the face thing he's so ashamed of, just because he's so, doesn't really care. He's going to let it all lay out, because he respects Luffy's resolve to try and get better. And then they both, like, show their, supreme resolve by unleashing their Emperor's Haki and, basically get everyone frothing at the mouth, and they're having the ultra hyper mega manly duel to the death. as each puts their life on the line on equal footing. And you know what? I enjoyed it. It made Kategori even cooler in the sense that, like, he is someone who operates with integrity. And it was also a nice, really callback to, like, Luffy to go back. Captain Crunch, are you gonna, like, gonna keep on, like I don't know why we do this. Why, like, you know, you can be so quiet at some point, and then when I'm talking, you just want to be really, really noisy. Well, what is up with that? What is up with that? Come on, Captain. You want to go away? You want to go away so you can not be so aggravating to the nice people? Yeah? Okay. Go. Oh, he's coming back. You know, I'd say that, like, having you around here is appropriate because, like, it gives us a pirate theme, you know, because of One Piece. Although, surprisingly enough, Luffy and none of the Straw Hats have ever, like, wanted to acquire a parrot. Even though it's, like, the most piratey thing in the world. But then again, One Piece has absolutely nothing to do with real-world pirates, so... Who knows? Maybe one of the supernovas, like Jewelry Bonnie, will get a parrot. Maybe Blackbeard will get one, and that'd be pretty cool. I'd be really happy if Blackbeard gets a little parrot. All right, Captain Crunch, I'm going to put you on my shoulder, and then you're going to be a good boy. And then maybe you're going to groom me, and we're going to continue talking about One Piece. But yeah, it was a great moment, you know, the integrity of Kategori, and it makes him seem even more badass that, like, this is not just a guy who just, like, you know, is cool in posture and stature. This is a guy who is cool because he is filled with integrity. He is a person who looks beyond the stature of his status. And you are just being really loud, Captain. You know, I have a tolerance for your loudness, but even you know, after this, I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna shower you to calm you down, because I think you need a shower, Captain. Yes, Captain Crunch is very loud. Anyway, so, you know, Katsuguri is a person of incredible stature, and I definitely appreciated it, even if it is kind of drawing it out. And I did love Flambe and her little entourage being shown to have no moral characters. They, like, laugh at Luffy. Ooh, he's like a fawn. Wobbly, wobbly. Ha 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 ha. Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. Which to me, you know, I don't mind it when people, like, just act overly scummy and obnoxious, because I think Oda manages to do a good job of selling it, even if it is kind of one-dimensional. And, you know, did a great job of, like, and, you know, honestly, who likes Flambe? She's the little sister king. She's the worst. We didn't need another character, and she wasn't asked for, so yeah, seeing her take, like, a pudding heel turn into complete douchiness is completely, you know, expected. But, like I was saying before, I did like the callback to Luffy's fight with Crocodile, when, like, Crocodile has, like, the poison hook, and he says, you know, there is no honor in a fight between pirates, and then Luffy's, you know, acknowledges that fact, like, he's learned that lesson. So that was a great callback to, like, Luffy sort of, like, acknowledging that, you know, him getting hit by the dart is his own responsibility, and, you know, in a duel between pirates, anything should go. That is a lesson he learned from Foxy, it is a lesson he learned from Crocodile, and I like it being reflected 800 chapters, 10 years later into the series. And, you know, this is definitely a good old boy manga. So I'd give this chapter a 9. I think it was a really good, solid chapter of One Piece. I love it. Like, and apparently Luffy's, like, getting his, like, stomach torn out as, like, a canon injury. I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to get a scar after everything's said and done, or if all he needs to do is eat meat and then his, like, flesh pops back in, just like he did with a tooth and drinking milk. So we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, this is definitely a good knockdown brawl fight. I'm kind of curious to see how Oda resolves this, if he can give, like, Luffy some sort of, you know, greater revelation in terms of beating Katakuri, because it still seems like, you know, effectively you could say that, like, Luffy has lost the fight, in the terms of, like, you know, Katakuri has crippled himself, so baseline Luffy as he exists now could not be Katakuri. This whole thing is just a loss. Katakuri had to bring himself down to Luffy's level, so even if Luffy wins, it is not a real victory, and I'm sure he'll learn about it, and he's going to develop Gear 4, or maybe he's going to learn how to awaken his Devil Fruit. But, you know, it's definitely a good training thing. I like the idea that, like, you know, this will spur him to train even further and develop some sort of new thing that he's going to use when he fights down Kaido. And, oh, man, when we get to Kaido, that's going to be like a 5-volume, no-holds-barred, epic fight to the finish. I can't wait to see it, given how much, you know, hype Big Mom has, and has largely lived up to. What Oda's going to pull out all the stops to, like, make Kaido live up to the hype. But, you know, good times. Although this arc is still getting along. I think we're, like, 75 chapters into it. So there is a part of me that's like, come on, Oda, end it. I don't want another Dressrosa. There's been some good stuff here, but, you know, I think it's time to draw it to a close. But I'd give this chapter a 9. Maybe next week we'll see what Goro has to say. And Captain Crunch will not be here next week. He's even getting on my nerves. Captain Crunch, you have such a shrill voice. Why? And you're pooping again. That's what birds do. They poop all the time. You are not a good pirate bird. All right, so thanks for hanging around. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk. And I'm looking at the volume now, and oh my god, your screech is like really loud. So if you hate having Captain Crunch and you find him really annoying, let me know, and I'll probably try and like avoid having him next time. I wish we could find a way to work with you, Captain Crunch. I want to get you on the internet. I want to make you a superstar. I want to turn you into like pet Instagram. But I don't know. We got to figure something out, Captain. We got to figure out a way to work. But thanks for hanging around. And remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it. Do you like clothes but hate shopping? Then T-Blocks is the subscription service for you. But I know what you're thinking. But Lobster, how is that any different than Loot Crate or the other subscription services? Well, T-Blocks sends you t-shirts, which is clothing, which is actually useful, unlike the useless swag junk that Loot Crate keeps peddling on gullible schmucks. And this isn't just knockoff brand crap. T-Blocks hooks you up with licensed shirts for all the stuff you love, because you need clothes. How else are you going to keep your puny human man flesh protected from the elements? T-shirts are useful for any occasion. Wear them, give them to friends, give them to enemies, knit them together, make a quilt. T-shirts are life. And you know the best part? It'll only cost you $6.99. That's right, you can get 12 shirts sent to you for once a month for only $6.99. And you know what? If ultra cheap licensed goods are too basic for you, then there's also the Community T-Block set, which features original designs from the best up-and-coming artists, so you can keep that hipster street cred. But I'm here to save you even more money! Use the code LOBSTERTBX at checkout, and you'll save 10% on any order. Be a t-shirt wearing god amongst mortals. Use the power of the most expensive seafood to get you the cheapest t-shirts now!